How's it? Today's Friday, May 5th. It's Boys' Day, which is a day in Japan celebrating boys and recognizing fathers. In Hawaii, we think we celebrate it. I don't know if it's traditionally celebrated properly, but we put out like kites, koi kites that are kind of hung out in front of the house to just one should be per boy. Um, I don't know. My grandpa put one out that has like all his grandchildren. So there's me, my brother, my cousin, my two other cousins, and then my cousin's son who just turned one. It's pretty cute, but I digress. It is Big Friday. I am doing basically what I did last week, but 5 kilos heavier on everything. So I had 13 singles, 5 snatches, 5 clean and jerks, and 3 front squats. I was not feeling super awesome today. Something is really feeling weird with my mid back, and I'm just not super happy with it. Additionally, my left wrist has been giving me a lot of issues. You'll see it on some of these clips where I'm just kind of grabbing my wrist, and a lot of these overhead positions just don't feel awesome. I mean, they don't usually feel awesome, but they don't feel pleasant. Um, yeah, so those are two things I'm kind of experiencing today. Yesterday, I did not work at the restaurant, even though I had planned to. I showed up to work and then they actually called me off, so I ended up going to the gym to do kind of circuits of cardio. I don't know if that's really what affecting my mid back, but it just doesn't feel good. And then these snatches here, I'm trying my best to. Here, there's my left wrist giving me issues again. I'm trying my best to be consistent, and I don't know what that consistency looks like at this point. Last week I had a couple pretty good snatches at 80. I mean, 80 is super light. 80 is less than 80%, so that's something to think about. But I'm trying my best to just hold on to the bar as long as I can and keep my arms as long as I can. So long in duration and long in length. Here's my first set at 85. These are, I mean, they're easy. And I ended up doing them probably like close to 1 minute apart. 1 to 2 minutes apart for all of these. So some of these are a little bit better than others. I think the fourth one, if I recall correctly, is the one that I like the most. That third one is pretty solid. Let's take a look here. Nah, that third one is better than this one. And last one was, I think this is kind of off, if I remember. Yeah. So you see how my arms kind of come in a little bit later there? That kind of hurt my wrist. Not super awesome. I think, aside from that, I like the level of delay that I have. I mean, it's not necessarily a delay, but I guess proper extension position. That was something I was trying to get to today. So some of those I had my chest up a little bit higher than others. And it's not on purpose that I did that. It's just like I forgot. I guess it's probably the best way of thinking about that. But yeah, I mean, tell me just like last week. Thanks, Juan and Rebecca. Thank you. Tell me which ones are the best ones. But moved into my clean jerks after that. I think my cleans today were actually a lot better than they were last week, and my jerks were not as good as they were last week. For a reason I mentioned earlier, right? My mid back was giving me some issues. I don't think it impacted my clean as much as my wrist did, though. My wrist was, I was very, very tentative with my overhead position. Here's my first set at 115. I want to say this start position is better than it was last week. I honestly, it could have been exactly the same. I don't know. I don't know. But it felt like I was a little bit more locked in from the bottom. And just as I was mentioning that my cleans were better than last week, that one was not stellar. And then these jerks were, I think, not as precise as they were last week. But I think my issue lately is not that I can't clean weights. It's just that they become so difficult that the jerk is difficult. And for me, it's always been the case where if I can clean it, I can jerk it. And at the meet, it obviously was not the case because I was just absolutely gassed with those cleans. So the next meet that I'm doing, June 4th, I think. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully that is, I don't want to say fixes itself because I'm going to have to put in the work to fix it, right? So try my best to pull less with my arms and extend a little bit higher up on the hip. That's never usually been an issue for me, and I don't know if it's because my mid back issues that have been kind of fixed at this point, but the last 6 months have been probably when my technique started to fall apart. That I didn't really give it a lot of thought to fix, and I I hope this is a step in the right direction at this point. My front squats felt awesome today. My warm ups were 60, 100, 25, 35 for singles here. It felt like I was able to have good hip activation and that my upper back was able to hold the weight pretty well. I mean, I leaned forward a little bit here, but it's not hurting my upper back like it used to. And that to me is a win. That's a win all over. So, also, weight was moving. Weight was moving real quick, and I didn't really get stuck or pause at any position. So, yeah, ideally I would be able to front squat 150 like that. I I guarantee you, there's no way I can do that right now. So, I'll take what I can get. After that, I finished off with some pull-ups here, and then some GHD sit-ups. But yeah, I don't know what else to mention about today. I think there's a lot to be desired in a lot of places, but I think I'm gaining a lot of consistency or at least gaining consistency back that I once had, which to me is a positive. And hopefully my wrist kind of fixes itself. I don't know what really happened to it, so I don't know how to address it. But yeah, that's that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Shoots.